Everyone needs to know what is happening in Democratic Republic of Congo right now. Everyone needs to know what is happening in Democratic Republic of Congo right now, because it affects all of us in one way or other. But here's the main characters that you need to know about all this. Number one, here you have a DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. They are the biggest country, should I say, number 2 in Africa continent. Guess what? They are the richest country in the entire world when it comes to the natural mineral resources. Not just in Africa, but in the entire world. They have about 24 trillion US dollar in the natural resource which have not been touched yet. Now the question is, what the hell do the street of Congolese look like this? Well, let us go deeper. Second main characters we should take from this. We have the Republic of Rwanda. In 1994, they went through the worst genocide which took place in the modern history, with more than 800,000 being unalive. This is what will bring us character 3 and 4 comes in. This genocide comes between two tribes, the Hutu and the Tutsi. The Tutsis are known as cattle holders with the minority of about 14%. Regardless of how minority they were able to lead this country for a very long time with the help of Belgium, who used to be their former colonial. So the Belgium did favor the Tutsis. They gave them power, educations, and many privilege over the Hutus. Besides the Hutus being the majority of about 85% of population in Rwanda, yet the Tutsi, they were the one in charge. With all this kind of treatment, the Hutus, they will no longer be able to understand or to deal with this kind of behaviors. So they end up revolting themselves against the Belgian power and the Tutsi power in 1962. Now that the world was reversed and the Hutus, they become in charge. Now that things have changed around, that is when the longest war began between the Hutus and Tutsis, which leads to the war that I just mentioned previously, the genocide. So the war between these two tribes, it is what ended up leading the death of more than 800 to 1 million Tutsi who were being unalive.
Around 800,000 Tutsi and some moderate Hutus were macheted to death by Hutu fighters.
Almost 1 million people killed in 100 days. Really, really a very dark chapter. 70% of the Tutsi population of Rwanda was white.
And that's how the world end up acknowledging this as a genocide against humanity. However, the Tutsi managed to regain the power, and for your own information, all thanks to Paul Kagame leadership, they're still maintaining this power until today. And this is where character 1 come back on place. Remember, in 1994, when all this was happening, once the Tutsi take over the power under the leadership of Paul Kagame, you can only imagine what was the outcome of Hutus. Well, most of these Hutus, they had to flee the Rwanda to go to Congo, which was named by the name of Zaire, its former name, under the leadership of President Mobutu Sese Seko. Since that time of genocide, the Tutsi, they had only one mission: to revenge for what the Hutus they have done to them during the time when the Hutu tribe used to be in power. Now that they decided to flee and go to Congo, well, the government of Kigali under the leadership of Paul Kagame, they had only one mission, which is to look for this Hutu and get rid of them, because they were a very big threat to the government of Kigali.
The responsibility lied with the international community to disarm these people, because we think the whole aim is to carry out the genocide again. We shall not accept it. And that if the international community cannot do something about it, we shall have to do something to do about it ourselves. I didn't go into details of what we were going to do.
Since from that moment, the Tutsi, they have consistently invaded Congo. And one of their reasons they are giving is to say that the Hutus who have fled in Congo, they are a very big threat to the security of Rwanda. Therefore, they need to be eliminated.
Mr. McConnell, I do understand the achievements that you have made in Rwanda, but this is about
so then you understand
DRC.
Why we have to safeguard.
So does that give you the right to then send your troops into a neighboring country and occupy territory there?
It gives us the right to defend our borders and to safeguard.
But does that
Rwandans
mean
and
your
everyone who lives here.
troops are today allowed to be deployed? There are reports of thousands, at least 3,000 Rwandan soldiers now willfully occupying Congolese land. Does that give you the right to do that?
We are not interested in occupying anyone's land.
So what are your
want
troops
peace.
doing there in the DRC?
Our troops are deployed along our border.
No, by
and we
all
have-
estimations, let's be clear with our listeners. By all estimations, your allies, the United States, the UK, the UN, the whole world says your troops are there in the DRC. Why are they there? And shouldn't you leave the DRC to manage its own affairs?
Well, they have failed to. We have had repeated violations of our border. We've had people killed on our side of the border. We have had to live with this. And because of that, we have deployed heavily defensive mechanisms and offensive mechanisms on our border to ensure that we keep our people safe
So
and
just
safeguard our
explain that
investments.
to us. What are your troops doing? What is that offensive position there in the DRC? That means you are actively fighting the Congolese government on its own territory.
No, we are ensuring that the fighting that is happening on a few kilometers from our border do not come across, and ensuring that we prevent any spillover into Rwanda, because the decisions that are being made.
That involves your boots on the ground in the DRC, doesn't it? That's what it involves.
That means that if we have to counter any attacks that are targeted at us, it will not happen within our borders.
In all of this, what it looks like is that you have a military, the Rwandan military, which, despite everyone saying that, whether it's your neighbors, whether it's your allies, saying that you are supporting a rebel group in a neighboring country, which is intent right now, as it says, on marching on the capital Kinshasa and overthrowing a democratic government in the DRC. Essentially, Rwanda is backing regime change in the DRC.
We're not interested in that. I cannot speak for the M23.
Now we are at the super controversial part that everyone used to know about. Because Rwanda, or the rebellion groups that they are backed, they did not go in Congo and killed only the Hutus, which they've been chasing for all these years, but they went in Congo and did serious massacre to the people of Congo. Oh yes, we are talking about 13 millions of Congolese which have been killed so far in this war, which Rwanda had imposed on the Congolese people. And during all these years, Rwanda government with the rebellion group, they have managed to have a very big impact and influence on Congolese politics. They have shut down different government, changed different president in power, to the point of nominating even some of the Rwandan general as a chief of army in Congo. Oh yes, they loot and steal a lot of mineral from Congo, to the point that the entire world end up understanding that Rwanda mission in Congo is to control Congolese mineral resources. And that brings us to what is happening right now in Democratic Republic of Congo. Because one of the rebel group called by the name of M23, backed by Rwanda, they have entered Democratic Republic of Congo and captured one of the biggest cities in the east of DRC. The capturing of this city became the headline around the world wide, because that so-called M23, they're not just capturing the biggest city in the eastern of Congo, but they are capturing the city which has the most wanted mineral resources. And this will now take us to the introduction of the 50 characters as we promise, which is the West and many more African countries who are behind all these attacks. Because these Congolese minerals, they don't just sit in the Congolese ground, but they are being brought aboard via these neighboring countries in order for it to reach in the Western countries before they get to use it. Because most of these minerals are being found inside our cell phones, electrical cars, fridges, Panasolas, name it, because the list is far too long. Why? Because the Western can't function, can't survive without the Congolese minerals. Truly speaking, there is much interest for the Western to keep it that way because they have a lot to lose if they have to let peace reign in DR Congo. Now you understand why the Western are so silent. They keep quiet when they're supposed to be pronouncing themselves concerning the matters of what is happening in Congo. Donald Trump held a press conference where he was commenting about different matters that surround the world today. They ask him all different type of questions. He gives the answer to all the questions. But when it comes to the matter which concern the people of Congo, Donald Trump, he keeps quiet in saying that.
Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. The situation in the Democratic Republic of the Congo is getting worse, even though President John Lorenzo has been mediating the conflict between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo because he wants to bring peace and stability. The situation is really bad right now. I want to hear from Ms. President if you have any plan in the future to bring peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
You're asking me a question about Rwanda, and it is a very serious problem. I agree, but I don't think it's appropriate right now to talk about it, but it is a very serious problem.
This is not the right time to talk about this. For what reason and what was he trying to insinuate by saying that? Besides Donald Trump, we have big world organizations, whether it is the UN, whether it's the EU, all of them, they are quiet, they are not pronouncing themselves concerning this matter, which is far away and different compared on how they had pronounced themselves against what has been happening in the Ukraine and what happened to Israel.
So in this moment, we must be crystal clear. We stand with Israel. We stand with you. We stood with Ukraine. Let's remember the world's watching. Will we stand for the defense of democracy?
They rather prefer to leave Paul Kagame with his army to invade another sovereign country. That is a normal situation. But when it comes to Vladimir Putin with Russia invading Ukraine, that becomes an abomination for them. They put a lot of billion of US dollar in order for them to fight Russia in Ukraine, but yet they are not able to stand with people of Congo.
The Biden administration is set to announce a $1.2 billion weapons package for Ukraine next week.
This morning, just a few moments ago, it's announcing that an additional $2.5 billion in U.S. support is heading to Ukraine.
All the crime that's being committed in DR Congo, of women and children being raped each and every day, of men who are not able to work or just because they have been left disabled, of children who are not be able to attend school or just because all the school are being banned. Yet the criminal who have committed all this kind of crime, they're still free out there. They still have the balls to even challenge other African nations such as South Africa by telling them on how ready they are to go to war with them.
He's also there pretending to be playing a peacemaker role, and he has a force that has been fighting alongside FDLR and has been fighting the M23 on the instructions of Tshisekedi, because these are people who are not supposed to be in Congo. South Africa dares even issue threats about what is likely to happen after that, and so on and so forth. Of course, we will see what threats they are talking about.
This life, no balance. There is a lot to talk about in this video, but we don't have enough time. I'm inviting you to watch part 2 of this video right here so that you get to understand exactly what is happening. Don't miss out. I'll see you again in the next video. For now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.